everybody. Welcome to this episode of Rush Roots. Today we have Juliann. So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Juliann Balley. I am the wife of Adam Balley, who we are the duo of the Rush Discush podcast. And we're happy that we can do that project. And we live in Rexburg, Idaho, originally from Texas. I have a degree in music education. I'm a violinist, mom of 2.5. We have another one cooking. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Great. All right. So why don't you tell us how you heard about Rush, what got you into them, and what keeps you around? Tell us your Rush roots.
Yeah, so originally I heard a couple of songs when I was a teenager that were Limelight and Closer to the Heart, and my brother was a humongous Rush fan, and I wanted nothing to do with it, and I did not care about Rush. But then fast forward, so like I had my exposure to Rush as a teenager, but then fast forward to 2018, Adam and I are married, and he's like, all right, we are going to listen to every single album from beginning to end, and you're gonna sit there and do it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'm more open to this now. And so we did. We had all of the album sleeves in front of us with all the lyrics, and we started from, well, we didn't listen to the first Rush album, but we started from Fly By Night and went on, and it was like life-changing. I was like, where have I been all these years? And I was kind of mad at myself at that point. I was like, oh my gosh, all this I've been missing out on. And so really it was my husband that kind of influenced me to finally see the light. And I've been hooked ever since. I think since then it's been nothing but Rush pretty much since that year. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, does that mean that you were not able to see the band live?
Exactly. I came in, I mean, obviously Neil was still here, but they were not performing anymore.
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
And then,
So, for those that have never seen the band live, what we like to ask is if you could go back in time, preferably, I guess, a show in your lifetime. Is there any show you would have, liked to have seen?
I think, I guess this kind of ties into the question about first favorite album, but I would have loved to go to an 80s Rush concert, like anything with signals, not old moving pictures, but I meant to say Power Windows, like anything in that era, I would have just eaten it up. It would have been great.
Yeah, and those shows were so great because they didn't have quite the discography that they did when you got into the 2000s and stuff. But what they would often do is play every song from that album except maybe one or two. So you got to hear so much of that latest album, which was so fun.
Oh, what a cool thing that would have been to do that.
Oh yeah,
which we didn't get from Presto to Vapor Trails. I mean, like Snakes and Arrows, did a lot of that and did a lot of Clockwork.
But they had so much. They just had so much, repertoire to choose from. All right. Well, what was your first favorite song and first favorite album, and how does that differ from your favorite song and favorite album today, if it does even differ?
Yeah, my first song that I obsessed over was Entre Nous. I listened to that on repeat all day long.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, though, I love Permanent Wave. So my first favorite album that was just straight through every single day was Signals, all day long Signals.
Sweet.
Excuse me. Yeah, I was obsessed with that album, and then it kind of was like a three-way tie between Signals and just I always want to take this to Early Morning. Excuse me. Grace Under Pressure. Yeah. Grace Under Pressure and Power Windows. There's like a three-way tie between those, but definitely Signals is the first one that I could not stop listening to. And then now, awesome. It's kind of hard now because I just listen to everything all the time. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that one of the top for sure songs is Time Stands Still. And then also I've had kind of a big Hold Your Fire kick for a while. as well. So I'd probably say at this time in this week, I would say Hold Your Fire and Time Stand Still.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Hold Your Fire is such a great album too. I think people dismiss it because it's right like smack in the middle of that, synth era, but there is so much going on that album.
Yeah, that
So
and
much-
Mission too. Mission's
Oh yeah.
oh, so good.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Great choice. I love your choices. Entree New is one of my favorite songs as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any, just fan stories you want to share? Any, not necessarily fan stories, I guess, but any stories Rush related that you might find interesting that you'd want to share?
I don't know.
Any household arguments that you guys get into, or that you'd like to share, or you're just walking around and you just make a Rush pun or you make each other laugh type of thing?
Yeah, you know what? The Rush puns are probably pretty frequent in this house. I can't remember
There
a
you go.
specific one, but it is just a lot of them all the
There
time.
you go.
But I don't know if I have like a funny thing. Yeah, I can't think of anything specific, but maybe there's something.
That's fair. All right. Well, why don't you tell us, where you can be found on social media, whether you personally or just the podcast?
Yeah, definitely. Our podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is at Rush Discush, and we post on there whenever new episodes are coming out and just other fun Rush things that we want to post. And yeah, you can find us on there or email us at rushdiscuss@gmail. Is that Rush dots? I'm asking Adam in the background. Rush.discuss@gmail.com. Clearly, I know a lot about our podcast, but yeah, that's where you can find us and follow us on there. And we can't wait to see what you think about the episodes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What I really like about, I'll promote your podcast here myself, real quick. What I really enjoy about it is you guys are both musicians and you talk a lot about it from a musical perspective, which is nice for me like I own a couple electric guitars, but I don't consider myself a musician, right? So it's nice to hear that from your perspective, and you learn it from, you learn about what they're doing from that perspective. And I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, you guys do other things well too, but that's the one thing that I like about it the most is, there's other discussions that we have, and we don't always have musicians on our channel and things like that. So I really like how how I'm learning from it, which is fantastic. So I'm really, really happy that your show popped up, and I'm really happy that we've taken take a friend. I was going to make a Rush pun here, but
yeah, definitely. We're glad to do it. We love the Rush community online. It's a
absolutely
fun, small family, well, small but large family. It's been great to meet a lot of other Rush fans around the world. We have listeners all over the world. It's amazing how Rush fans are everywhere.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. All right. Anyone who's watching that wants to, come on and share their Rush roots, feel free to email us at rushfans@rushfans.net, and we will have you on so that you can share your story. And Juliann, thank you for coming on. And with that, we will wrap. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.